Hello everyone, in this session we will discuss on tuples in Python. Tuple is a data structure which can store collection of items in a single variable. So for example, if we want to store a number of items within a single variable, we can use tuple. Even in list, you can store multiple items in a single variable. Tuple also does the same. In this session, we will understand what is the basic difference between tuple and list and when to use tuple in Python programming. Let's understand the syntax. When we define tuple, we will use tuple variable name equal to, instead of square bracket, we will use parenthesis. That is a major difference while defining a tuple over a list in Python. Remember, we will use parenthesis instead of square bracket. Few points to remember related to tuples. Tuple can store heterogeneous data items. For example, single variable can store strings, integers, floats together. Same as list in Python. Tuple is immutable. Unlike list, we cannot change the value stored within a tuple. For example, we have a tuple employee underscore one and we have the name of the employee, age of the employee and the joining date here. We cannot change the age of the employee like this. We can do the same in case of list, but in case of tuple, we cannot assign a new value within an existing index. So tuple is immutable. It's a read-only list of items. Tuple can store duplicate data though. We can have another 32 here in the same list. It's possible. Tuple is ordered and item can be accessed using index. If we want to print the data stored within first index of employee 1, which is nothing but 32, we can do so. Here also index starts from 0. So name will be stored in 0th index, age will be stored in first index and date of joining will be stored in second index. By default, the index starts from 0 in case of tuple as well. There are a couple of built-in functions like list. Tuple has length, max, mean, sum. What sum will do? Sum will add all the items present in a tuple, provided all the items are in integer or float. If we put tuple name, which is employee 1 in this case, if we take this example, employee 1 dot index, and if we want to search Ram here, it will give us index value 0. What index function does? It starts searching the item from the initial 0th index and check each and every item one after other until we get the key. So it always gives you the initial occurrence or the first occurrence of the key. Count is a built-in function which gives us the count of occurrence of an element. So for example, if we want to count how many times 32 is present in employee 1, it will give us 1 because only once 32 is present in this tuple. Now let's understand, apart from immutability of tuple, all the other properties are more or less exactly same as list in Python. So why should we know about tuple and why should we use tuple in our Python code? Being immutable, tuple is faster than list. So if we want to store 1 million data and we know that those data will not change over time, our preference will be tuple instead of list because it is much more faster than list. Tuple items are hashable, and that's the reason they can work as the key in dictionaries. In our subsequent class, we will see what is dictionary and what is the key within dictionary, why we use item of tuples in our dictionary. It is useful when we do not want to change the variable content at runtime. It gives us a flexibility to add safety in our Python code. If we don't want a variable value to be changed at any point of time, we can always prefer tuple over list. For example, settings of an application. If we know that these settings will not change over time, we can always put them in a tuple instead of a list. We can use tuple when the list will not change because of any condition. For example, the list of month names in a year. We know that there are 12 months present in a year and that those month name will not change over time. We can keep them in a tuple. Or list of days in a week. We know there are 7 days and those days, name of those days will not change over time. So we can always put them in a tuple. Whenever we know that the list can be changed over time, we will prefer list. But if we want to write some safe code where we don't want the variable value to be modified, we can always use tuple instead of list. Now I am in my PyCharm ID. Let's understand tuples in action. Here we have employee 1 tuple, which has name of the employee, age of the employee, and the date of joining of the employee. How can we print a tuple? There are two ways. Like list, you can directly use print function and pass the tuple name. It will print the tuple as a whole. Using for loop, you can iterate through each and every items and print them up. Both the ways are possible. If we want to print a very specific item present in a tuple, we can always do the same using index. We cannot edit or modify tuple elements. Hence, this assignment operation is not allowed in tuple. Let's take numbers tuple as example to understand the built-in functions present in Python. We can use length function to identify the number of items present in a tuple. Max will give you the maximum element or the maximum value of a tuple. There is another built-in function called mean, which fetches the minimum element from a tuple. Index built-in function in tuple identifies the first occurrence of the item we are passing within index function. So here, as we have passed 5 within index, it will give you 1 as result. Count counts the occurrences of the item we are passing within count function. So here, as there are 2 5 present in a same tuple, it gives you output as 2. It also proves that tuple can store duplicate values, as 5 is duplicate here. Let's run this program to understand it well. When we are printing like this as a whole, it is printing the whole tuple. Remember, tuple always use parenthesis, not the square bracket. We are printing each and every item here. We are iterating through this tuple and then printing all the items. If we want to print a very specific item, we can do so by using the index of the item. Here, we are printing 32 using its index 1. Length of the tuple is 4 because there are 4 items present in this tuple. Maximum element is 5. We can see it visually as well. The first occurrence of 5 is present in index 1. That's the reason it is showing 1. Count of 5 in this tuple is 2. That is what count function does. Now, let's enable this and run the program again. As you can see, because we have enabled this, we are getting some error, which is tuple objects does not support item assignment. This is only because tuple is an immutable data structure present in Python. Thanks a lot for watching this video.